In this video, we're going to show you how to make a Minecraft server on your Mac. Now, normally when we do these tutorials, we jump into it and we say anyone can do this. And anyone can do this, but this is very, very complicated in comparison to starting a server even on a Windows PC. So if you have that option, we recommend doing that using our Windows tutorials or getting a server with Apex Minecraft hosting. You see, the server you're starting here is only going to be up and running as long as your Mac is up and running and the server is kind of actively being managed, as well as it's going to be hosted on your own network, meaning you're going to need to worry about network security and things like that with this server. Because of that, we only recommend giving the IP address out to your friends, your family, people you trust. This is not a 24-hour server. It's only meant to be up and running when your computer is up and running. Additionally, this is going to be hosted on your own Mac's hardware, and that means your Mac might not be able to run a server and play Minecraft at the same time, as Minecraft servers are very resource intensive. So with all that being said, what if you want to solve those problems? What if you want the easiest way to set up a server with hardware you don't have to worry about, with network security you don't have to worry about, that's just as simple as if you can play Minecraft normally, you can play Minecraft on your server? Well, in that case, you want to go to the first link down below, the breakdown.txt/apex, and get your server up and running there. It's super simple, super easy. They have 24 hours, 7-day-a-week support should you have an issue, but it's very simple to sign up for a server. You can add plugins to your server, you can add mods to your server, you can do all that customization at Apex, and they have great network security that they worry about. You don't have to worry about it. It's hosted on their hardware, meaning if you can play on any other Minecraft server, you can play on your server at Apex. Additionally, it's meant to be a 24-hour server. It's up and running all the time. You can make it private, you can make it public, that is up to you. We actually haven't just Apex so much, so we also our own server, played.breakdowncraft.com on them, so check out Apex, the first link down below, the breakdown.txt/apex, to get your server up and running in the simplest and easiest way possible. Thanks to them for sponsoring this video, but nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump on into this. Now, like I said, we're going to show you how to do this, and there is a link in the description down below. It's going to be the second link down below that will take you here. This is our Windows tutorial right now, but when you watch this, it'll be a Mac tutorial. We're going to have a dedicated Mac server setup page here, but once you're here, you want to scroll down and click on the download Minecraft button. That's actually going to take you to where you can download the Minecraft server file. Once you're here, you want to go ahead and click on the Minecraft server. The version may be different. If this is 1.19 2021, it's probably going to work as well, but if it does change, we'll do an updated video, and the webpage you landed on here will have that. Nevertheless, though, let's go ahead and click on this green Minecraft server.jar download link there, and the download will begin automatically. You may have to keep or save or allow the file to be downloaded depending on your browser, but it is 100% safe to do that. You also probably need Java 17. Java 17 is required in order to run a Minecraft server on your Mac. If you have any things later on, like an open JRE environment or no Java environment error or issue, you need Java. This is also linked in the description down below, and we have a video tutorial as well as a simple 3-step process to get it done. Nevertheless, though, once you've got Java, we can go ahead and kind of move on in the process, but if you do have any issues with like a Java or JRE environment, this is what you need, and it's in the description. Nevertheless, though, with the server.jar downloaded, we can go ahead and move it from our downloads folder to our desktop, right? So drag and drop this to your desktop right like so. Then on our desktop, we want to go ahead and right click, create a new folder. Now, normally I would say you can name it whatever you want, but that's not the case here. You need to name this server. Then once you've got that there, you want to drag and drop the server.jar into the server here. Now, once this is dragged and dropped into the server, we actually need to do everything from terminal. And so what that is if you go ahead and open up Spotlight, right, by hitting Command Space on your keyboard and then typing in terminal, you'll have terminal open up right like so. Now, the numbers at the beginning here and the letters at the beginning are going to be different for you, and that's okay. But when you're in here, what you want to do is type CD, and then you want to type desktop, right? So CD desktop, and that's going to basically select the desktop directory. Then once you're in here, you want to type CD space server. Now, if you don't have any issues and it's not letting you get to that point, it may be because you need to allow basically your terminal to access the desktop folder. To do that, you want to open up System Preferences, and then in System Preferences, you want to go to Security and Privacy, and then you want to go to Privacy here on the top here, the Privacy tab. Scroll down on the left, select Files and Folders, and then finally, you'll be able to add terminal here. Now, if it's not here already, most likely you don't need to access it and do this, but if you do have issues, that can be how. So nevertheless, going through that again, we did CD space desktop and terminal, and then we did CD space server. That's why it's so important to have that file. Now, if you type ls list, it's going to show you what's in this, and that's when it asks us, would you like to access your desktop terminal with folder? Yes, click OK there. Now, if you do get an error here, it says it can't access it, that's when you need to go to the system preferences. But nevertheless, as you can see, we've listed here in their server.jar, that file. So now we need to open this. To do this, we want to type Java and then we want to type -jar, and then we want to type server.jar. So when we open that up, it's saying this is a Java, is what we're calling, right? -jar, and then server.jar. Now, at this point, when you hit enter, if it doesn't work, you need to go download Java that we mentioned earlier. So hit enter, and boom, as you can see, a lot happens, and it's starting your Minecraft server now. That's what it's going to do. But it's going to fail. As you can see, the last line says you need to agree the EULA to run the server. Now, if we open up the folder, the server folder, look, all these libraries have appeared here. Most importantly, though, we have the eula.txt. Double click on that, and then we want to change eula equals false to eula equals true, assuming you agree to the Minecraft EULA, which we do. So eula equals false, change now to eula equals true, all one word, all one line, all connected right like so. Go ahead and click File, Save to save that. And now what we want to do is come back over to Terminal here, and we want to type that again. We want to type Java-jar, and then we want to type server.jar. Hit enter, and boom, now it's going to start your Minecraft server and actually get it up and running. So you can see it's going through, it's loading recipes, loading advancements, doing everything it needs to do to get the server, and then we get this nice GUI that we can manage the server from. To start your server every time, that's what you're going to do. You're going to actually go through all of this. So you're going to type cd space desktop, and then you're going to type cd space server, and then you're going to type in that java-jar space server.jar, right? That's how you're going to start your server every time. Like I said, very, very difficult, and that's why Apex sponsored this video in the description down below. Absolutely amazing. We use them. They're so much easier, right? You literally just click start on their website. It's no coding or commands or anything like that, and that's why it's so much easier with Apex. But as you can see, we have done here, and the server is set up, and if we come back over here, we have the world folder, meaning our server is started. Now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can join your server, because I think it's important to test joining the server here before we allow your friends to join. Right now, your friends can't join. Only you can join this server, but let's see if we can. So I went ahead and did jump cut there, and I opened up Minecraft, but what we need to do is find our local IP address. We also need to go ahead and find our default gateway. So let's go ahead and do all that. To do this, you want to go ahead and open up Spotlight again. You're probably pretty familiar with this at this point. We want to go to System Preferences, and then once we're in System Preferences, we want to click on Network here. Then, once we're in System Preferences, in Network, we want to go ahead and click on Advanced down here in the bottom right with either your Wi-Fi or Ethernet connection selected. So if it's Ethernet, right, if it was this one, you click Advanced on that one. If you're using Ethernet, a wired connection, in my case, I'm on wireless Wi-Fi, so we want to click Advanced on Wi-Fi. Then once you're in here, you want to click on TCP/IP up here at the top. Now, this is all the information you need for basically port forwarding, and I would recommend grabbing like a post-it note or, opening a text document and adding this information in there. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and write this down on a post-it note, and we need our IPv4 address and our router. Our router is what we're going to be used later on to port forward to allow our friends to join. So IPv4, let's go ahead and write that down. In my case, that's 192.168.1.106. Then we want to write down the router, and in my case, that is going to be 192.168.1.1. Now, yours may be the same, may be different, and that's okay. That's why we're finding these. If it was the same number for everybody, I wouldn't show you how to find it. I'd just tell you the number. But it's going to be different for you most likely. If it's not, great. If it is, that's why we did this. So, nevertheless, though, we want to go ahead and take this IPv4 address. You can copy it, so select it, right-click, copy. And then we want to go ahead and head over to Minecraft Multiplayer here. Right, so let's close out of System Preferences, and then we want to click on Multiplayer, then Direct Connection. Then once we click on Direct Connection, we want to paste in that IP address. So in my case, 192.168.1.106 is the local IP address. Click Join, and then it's going to join us right on into the server. You can see on the right-hand side, joining us right on in beautifully. Now, at this point, your server is up and running. You can join it, you've tested it, and now you're safe to port forward. It's also worth noting though, if you're lagging a lot right now with just you on the server, your hardware is not going to be able to host you on the server and your friends on the server. As you can see, I'm not lagging, so I should be able to run this and a few friends on the server without any issues. You've also, over here, if you're getting like a server can't keep up error, that means that the server's lagging and it can't keep up, and probably you're going to have more lag issues in the future. So keep that in mind. At this point, you can go ahead and up yourself as well. To do that, you want to click over here, either in the terminal or in your GUI. Most people probably want to use this, but click over here in your GUI and then type up and then your username. That's going to allow you to do more things like go into game mode creative, ban people, stuff like that from your server. But nevertheless, your server is up and running. Awesome. So let's go ahead and close out of this. To stop your server, always, and I cannot repeat this enough, always come over here in the GUI or in terminal. It doesn't matter which one of these you use. They're going to be mirrored. As you can see, everything is mirrored between these. But what you want to do is type stop. STOP, right like so, in terminal or in your server GUI. When you do that and hit enter, it's going to properly stop your server. If you don't do that, it won't properly stop your server and you will have all kinds of issues. Nevertheless though, with that stop now, how do we allow our friends to join this Minecraft server? Well, we need to port forward. So let's go ahead, open up our browser here, and then up here at the top where you would normally type in a website, you're going to type in that router IP address that you got. So in my case, that was 192.168.1.1. Right there it is. Enter that in, and then if you get something like this, which is weird, I don't know why I get this, but nevertheless, I need to actually go to that website, and you'll land on some sort of a login page, which I'm not. This is why are you causing issues, Netgear? Hold on. Sorry about that. So I was already logged into my router, and for some reason it took me to like a reset password thing, which is weird. But anyway, here we are. We are now on what you should see. As you can see up here at the top, it is just 192.168.1.1. No fluff or anything after it yet. This is what you'll see, some sort of a login box. Now, for me, my username is admin, and then my password is what I have my password set to. But what is your router login information? Well, it's different from your like Wi-Fi information, and you can find this information here. This is how to find your router's password. It goes through 5 different methods to find your router password, and most people find it by method 3. So don't worry about having to contact your ISP. I know no one wants to do that. But nevertheless, this is going to show you how to find that. And then once you found that, you can come back over here and log into your router. Let me do that. So boom, there we go. My password's entered, and I can log right on into the router. Now, my router's really buggy on macOS Safari for some reason, and it says I've not logged in even though I have. As you can see, it's kind of like logged in the background there. So click login again. Still going to do that. If I just hit cancel, it's going to open up my router. It's so weird. macOS is very, very interesting. I love it. I actually use it on a daily basis, but for stuff like this, it can be so buggy. It's very odd. But nevertheless, as you can see, we're finally logged in after a little bit of domain trickery up here at the top to get away from that password reset page that it wants to send me to the actual router login. Nevertheless, though, once we're here, how do you port forward? Well, every router is going to be different, and that's why we do have an in-depth guide here on how to port forward on any router. It goes through all the top routers out there today, but even if your specific router is not on that list, I still recommend watching that video all the way through because you'll pick up all the different terms that port forwarding could be, and it'll just make you a lot more comfortable when you're on your router because you'll know what a lot of these terms and things are when you're looking at them. On my router, for example, it is going to be in advanced. For you, it might be in advanced, it might be in admin advanced, it could be in admin, it could be in apps and gaming, it could be in security, it could be in port forwarding, it could be in port forwarding / port triggering, it could be in NAT forwarding, NAT forwarding. For me, it is in advanced, and then it is in advanced again, and then finally it is port forwarding / port triggering. On my old router, it was in security, and then it was in apps and gaming, and then it was in single port forwarding, right? So it could be in a bunch of different places, but overall what you're looking for is port forwarding. When you do find it though, you're going to have something similar to this where you can most likely hit add a custom service, or you'll just have a big list of like different, boxes that you can enter in. For me, I have to add a port forward. For you, you might just have those boxes. Either way, what you want to do is go ahead and click add or start the port forward process. Once you've done that for the service name or ID, just a name, ID, something like that, just what is this? This is just Minecraft Java server, right? For protocol, you want to do TCP/UDP, UDP/TCP, or both. You want to make sure both of these are selected. For whatever reason, you can't select them both. Do one and then do the port forward. Everything else exactly the same, again, for the other one, right? But we can select TCP/UDP or both here. So once you've done that, we want to move on to port. Now, anything mentioning the word port, P-O-R-T, exactly like that, port, the word port, right? You want to enter in 25565. So 25565, right like so for the word port. Now, mine automatically mirrors it, but for external port, internal port, port 1, port 2, 25565 is what you want to put in, right like so. Now, for your internal IP address, this is the IPv4 address that you found earlier. So in my case, that was 192.168.1.106. So enter that right there. You might also be able to find it on this list over here, but mine's not there, and that's okay because we got it earlier in this video. Now let's just go ahead and now we can click apply, and our port forward will save. Now if you did need an external IP address, that's going to be your public IP address, and that's perfectly fine because you need that no matter what, because that is how your friends are going to join your Minecraft server. To get that, what you want to do is go to the description down below and go to here. This is what's my IP, and this is where you'll find your public IP address. Now, for us, all you can see is 103. Everything else is whited out on this screen as well because this is the information someone can get from you from your IP address. So be very, very careful with that. It is something that you only want to give to your friends and family. If you want a public server, use Apex Minecraft hosting. That's why they're there, for public servers and just ease of use. You can have a private server on Apex as well, but nevertheless, they are set up for that if you want one. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and copy this IP address here. So go go ahead and do that. And again, you can only see 103. That's because when we go back to Minecraft, I want you all to be able to see that. If you did need, though, an external or public IP for your port forward, come over here and enter it. Otherwise, we can minimize our browser and we can go ahead and join this server. But to do that, we need to start the server. And I would love to say you could just go in here and do that, but what we need to do is open up terminal, right? So open up terminal. I wanted to go through this again because it's different, right? You want to do cd desktop, right? And then you want to do cd server. And then finally, you can do java-jar and then server.jar, right? Hit enter, and then now your server is going to be starting, and you'll get that GUI up that you can actually use to manage the server easier. Now, in some cases, you can just double click on the server.jar file in here, and it will work, but that's never worked for me on Mac. So that's why I present it in this way, because this always works 100% of the time. We can also come back over here into Minecraft, and we can click direct connection, and we want to paste in that public IP address we found. Now, 103 was the last 3 digits of mine, as you can see on the website earlier and here. So now what we want to do is go ahead and click join server, and when we do, it will join us on into this server. Now, it might take a second, it might take longer than it does on normal IPv4, because it's having to route out and then back in. Some ISPs don't allow that at all, so keep that in mind. Mine, however, does, so it does connect on through there and allow us to log on into the server using my public IP. But keep in mind, that might not be the case for you because some ISPs don't allow that. So if that doesn't work for you the first time, that's okay. Go try to see if your friends can join via that IP address. And if they can, awesome, it's working, you're good to go. You can join the same server off of your local IP and it will work. However, if for whatever reason your friends can't join, most likely it's an issue with your port forward. It could be a firewall on your port or on your router that's blocking the connection. Luckily, macOS doesn't seem to have much firewall protection in regards to allowing connections like this through, so usually that's not the case on macOS as it can be with Windows, but it could be an issue. But nonetheless, there you have it. That is how you can start a Minecraft server on Mac. It is so much easier to do this on Windows. So much easier. I can't stress that enough, but it is possible on a Mac. We've done it here. We've joined via our public IP. We have gotten everything set up. Is that terminal commands? As long as you get comfortable with those, you're going to be okay. That kind of make this more difficult and overly complicated in my opinion, but nevertheless, it is what it is. And yeah, you can host a server on a Mac. I think that's awesome. And by the way, this is an M1 Mac. How cool is that? We are using an M1 Mac to run a Minecraft server, something that kind of blows my mind is even possible. Nevertheless, though, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more incredible content every single day of the week on Mac, and check out these awesome other Mac tutorials on your screen right now that will show you how to do things like get mods, how to do things like get Optifine and shaders and all that stuff. It's all possible on Mac, and we have videos on how to do it on your screen now. Thanks for watching. I am out. Peace.